Okay. So in today's class, we are going to be dealing on the flow diagram and instrumentation. So, like I said, the flow diagram comes in various forms. You have various form of flow diagram, and I will explain the various form of flow diagram when it comes to when you are building a facility, whether in a greenfield project or a brownfield project. So, once we talk about flow diagram describe is a schematic drawing format the sequential flow of liquid, gases, vapor as they enter, flow through and exit the process facility. That is a flow diagram. So we have various forms of flow diagram. We have the PFD, we have the BFD, we have the P&ID, we have the utility flow diagram, we have the mechanical flow diagram, and we also have the yeah, those are the basic flow diagram that we have. So let us go into it actually. So in the beginning of every project at first, the process engineer is responsible for designing the flow diagram, not the piping engineer. But the knowledge of this how to read this flow diagram, how to interpret this flow diagram, and how to make use of the flow diagram. So that's why we are actually studying this flow diagram. So if you look at this uses of flow diagram now, there are various uses in which you can actually find in this paragraph here. Like it says, the flow diagram is used by piping groups to develop a layout and plot plan when developing the plot plan, the arrangement of the mechanical equipment in the facility reflects impact and geological sequence of flow depicted on the flow diagram. However, many other factors such as code requirements, client standard and preference, worker safety and cost influence, and positioning of equipment is what is taken into consideration. That is a very nice one from this book. So what that paragraph is actually saying is that once these flow diagrams are made, the piping engineer go through these flow diagrams, knows the type of equipment that are present in that diagram. So once they know the type of equipment that is present in these diagrams, they know, okay, this equipment, this how it works. The like in our previous class, we talk about um, the equipment that are actually present in the process facility. So once we talk about once we have the flow diagram, we tend to know, okay, this equipment has to do with this temperature and where it is being positioned and so on and so forth. That is what we use to develop a plot plan. And from plot plan, we develop equipment layout. So from equipment layout, that equipment layout talks about where equipment are being positioned, the the coordinate at which equipment are being positioned in the process plant. That is what we meant by equipment layout. So from there now, that is once we go through this flow diagram. From the flow diagram, we began to do pipe routing, um, valve placement, and other stuff. Because all those valve placement and the rest, they are they are shown in the flow diagram. So, what are the types of flow diagram? The process engineer are responsible for developing flow diagram. That is what this part is actually saying. That process engineers are responsible for the development of this flow diagram. In many large engineering firms, an entire department is dedicated in developing flow diagrams. Exactly. Process team, they are the ones that are responsible for this, not really the piping engineers. But the piping engineers need the knowledge of the flow diagram to actually uh, think like what the process guys we are actually thinking when they were actually doing this flow diagram. So this book actually gives us three types of flow diagram. They gave us the process flow diagram, they gave us the mechanical diagram, and they give us the utility flow diagram. So let me explain these flow diagrams and what it do. So the process flow diagram, in the beginning of every project, process flow diagrams come. The process flow diagram shows only major equipment, main piping, main pipelines, and the direction of flow, and operating pressure and temperature of the facility, and major controlling instruments, like mostly control valves. That's what you see in process flow diagram, mostly control valves. So if there will be any form of maybe a shutdown, a control, a major control system in that particular plant, that is the instrument that you will not see sub equipment, sub instrument there. You won't see it, but you will see major equipment. You know that in a process plant, you, you may have like five heat exchangers, but at the end of the day, the flow process diagram will only show you one, because that one is used to represent all of them. In in, um, in the process flow diagram, you only see main line. Now you have five heat exchangers, but in the process flow diagram, you will only see one pipeline, maybe connecting from the heat exchangers to one other this thing. You will, maybe if there is a bypass, you will see the bypass. But in the P&ID, that line is well detailed. But here e just only the main line. If there's any subline under that line, it is not shown in the flow process diagram. That's why the first drawing that the process team gives us as piping engineers is the flow process diagram, in order to understand the flow of the. So that is just it. So and most of the equipment that are being shown in the process diagrams are fractional column, pump, heater, and the rest. Operating temperature and pressure are being given, and so on and so forth. So once we talk about the mechanical flow diagram, the mechanical flow diagram is also known as the P&I, which is the piping and instrumentation diagram. That is what we call the Bible. We call it the Bible of the process. We call it the Bible of the what? Of the process. If we read through here, it says the process flow diagram, the mechanical groups develop the mechanical flow diagram, which is like, I don't know for what this book is saying about that one, but on a normal, the process team is the one that still develop the the piping and instrumentation diagram, or process and instrumentation diagram. The piping team, the process team are still as are the ones that that develops it, not pipe, not mechanical engineer. So the mechanical flow diagram provide much more detailed. You can see the mechanical flow diagram provides much more detailed data than the process flow diagram. Many companies refer it as mechanical flow flow diagram as P&ID, or the process flow diagram. So that is what happens. Many companies, it is either they refer it to as P&ID, which is the piping and instrumentation diagram, or process and diagram. Often refer to the Bible of the design process. That is, they call it the Bible. Truthfully, it is the Bible of the whole design process. So this this piping and instrumentation diagram, this piping and instrumentation diagram actually gives you pipeline number with direction of the commodity flow. It gives you pipe specification and line size. It gives you all mechanical equipment. Like I said, the process flow gives you the main mechanical equipment, but this one gives you all mechanical equipment, all operating and isolation valves, and all controlling instruments with transmitting devices. This is for piping and instrumentation diagram, only gives you for the main line.